What's going on, everybody? The RETRUNS is here, back for another Walking Dead vlog. And a lot of you might be saying to yourself, oh my goodness, the RETRUNS is back. I had to take a few weeks just personally, just a lot of things going on. My day-to-day situation it changes every day due to the coronavirus. As all of you know, I don't do YouTube full-time for a job in any way, so I have other means of income, and I've had to really kind of change and maneuver those due to the present situation that's going on. More and more entities are opening, such as restaurants and such, depending what state you're in. If you're in the United States at all, if you're in another country like the United Kingdom. Yeah, I mean, we're slowly building back towards something resembling society. I mean, I'm really just predicting it's going to take until like the fall, maybe like end of the year, to really just get back on pace. I mean, we really can just pack in 2020 and just, start over in 2021, because there's just not a whole hell of a lot to tangibly soak up in terms of the year 2020. We had episodes 9 through 15 of The Walking Dead earlier in the year, which was really cool. Some great battle sequences at the hilltop, the death of Alpha. I just realized I might be spoiling some of this stuff, but if I'm talking about the finale of Season 10, you should already have seen it, so I won't feel too bad about that. I did promise you guys a Q&A like a million weeks ago, and to be honest, I thought I was going to receive more questions than I did, but again, because I've been so sporadic on the channel, I guess it makes sense as to why you guys kind of were not as, involved jumping into the content. It's unfortunate because there's not much for me to go over. Like, every time I think to myself, oh, is there a vlog I can do? Is there something I can do for The Walking Dead? There are all these ideas that I have, but like I just don't know. Like, right now I should be prepping for like Comic-Con, looking forward to the trailer for season 11, but that's not happening because Comic-Con was completely canceled for the first time I think ever. So everything's got to change, everything. And I've just been struggling for content because I just didn't think you guys would be interested in top 10 this, or just vlogs to hold you over. I just felt that it would kind of be redundant to do so. And again, also, I just have been very busy, and without the normal schedule of The Walking Dead, it's difficult to just show any involvement in the channel, really. Okay, so I do have some questions from you guys, and you guys sent these in 2 to 3 weeks ago. There were two notable users who sent questions in. So from Rogerio Dirting, his question is, what do you think about Cassidy, McClincy, and Lydia? What about her future in the TV series and next seasons? He said that he loves her. I actually met her. I met Cassidy McClincy at Walker Stalker Con Atlanta a few months ago. Actually, I say a few, but it's almost, this October will have been a year, which is, again, just crazy because this year is flying by because time has no concept, apparently. Yes, Cassie McClincy is amazing. She is just energy uncontained. She is just kinetic energy. I've never seen anything quite like, I've never seen a bouncier, happier person. Just natural happiness. And every single guest, as I was waiting in line, that I saw, she treated the exact same way. Like they were a relative that she hadn't seen in like 3 years. And she hugged me and signed the comic book issue where Hilltop burns. And it's a really cool action shot of Lydia fighting a bunch of walkers. Unfortunately, they didn't remake that scene where the Whisperers try to like recruit her back. The Whisperers come up and say like, oh, your mom's dead, come back to us and lead us. And Also, you have to remember that Alpha is alive to attack the hilltop in the TV series, but in the comic she's not. So it's kind of a different conversation, but it's Lydia actively killing her people, turning on her people, and there's this really cool shot by Charlie Adler. Now I'll throw it up on the screen here. So she signed this image, and it was really it was really cool, and we took a whole bunch of pictures that were just really goofy pictures. I'll also put those up for you guys. I'll just do like one or two. I just didn't. She's like, make a goofy face, make this face, make this face, and I was like, I had such little time because they were trying to move all these guests that I was like trying to keep up with what she wanted to do. So it was, she's funny. She's hilarious. She's funny, and I'm glad that I was able to meet her along with everyone else that I was at Walker Stalker with, because that convention is dead. Because if you guys remember, I don't know how many of you followed this news, but the event that created it, FanFest, received a ton of backlash. I guess Walker Stalker 2019 had a different photography company. The perks were different. Like, basically, it was just understaffed, and there was just a lot of negligence overall, complete and utterly. And this guy James, I forget his last name, James something was the guy who was like the CEO, and he actually stepped down as CEO after Walker Stalker Atlanta, because Atlanta's always their biggest convention. Like, they go to multiple cities. They do one in New Jersey, they did one in Cleveland and Orlando, but Atlanta was always the one, like, that was always like their home run hitter. And and there was a lot of trepidation because earlier in 2019 they had faced problems. And so people were like, all right, if Walker Stalker Atlanta 2019 can redeem this event at all, we'll be satisfied. And it's like, apparently people who took photos on Saturdays weren't getting them, or like the whole process was a mess. I was able to slip in a photo with Jeffrey Dean Morgan somehow. Like, they somehow had photo ops available. And again, it was ridiculous prices. And they had these, like, these cash machines where, like, every time you took out money, like, it would be, like, a $5 surcharge. So I kind of didn't stack my wallet with cash, anticipating the nature of the event that I was going to be at. So, yeah, that was a... That was a little frustrating, but yeah. So, Cassidy McClincy is amazing as a person, just incredible. What is next for her in the TV series? Now, this is hard to predict because in the comics, this is some of my criticism of Kirkman when it comes to the Whisperer arc and also the Commonwealth arc, which inevitably will be coming up. I didn't think that his arc for Lydia was very satisfying. Basically, after the Whisper arc, she doesn't do anything. She stays at the hilltop, and she's absent. She's absent, Negan's absent, like, basically major characters. And if these characters are absent from the Commonwealth arc, I have absolutely no idea how they're going to pull it off. Because it just seems impossible. Because you have so little characters now, and we might be losing more in the season 10 finale. I'm thinking Father Gabriel because of his comic death and just the nature of how they've shot this whole thing. So you're losing a lot of characters, and I just think Negan and Lydia are two of the most important characters you got, and I just think it would be a massive, massive mistake to edit them out of the Commonwealth arc. And it's not like they die. Lydia just stays behind at the hilltop and never ventures to, like, Ohio, where the Commonwealth actually is. And so I have to imagine Angela Kang is going to involve her. Maybe she goes to the Commonwealth and she, like, maybe there's, like, some fraternity, or she goes to a college, or sorority. Fraternities for guys. Sorority. Because in the comics, the Commonwealth is like a city. Like, it's a functioning city with sports and jobs, and it's as if the apocalypse never hit it. It's like Alexandria taken to the max level. I mean, you thought that the Alexandria was impressive when our characters got there. This is like a whole new level of impressiveness. So So yeah, I hope that she like finds other teenagers to like fit in with, and like we see some things from her teenage perspective, and that she can also stay friends with Judith, because Judith is kind of like our Carl now, our lead like member of the Grimes family that's left, especially with Michonne gone and Rick gone and Carl dead. Judith and Kaylee Fleming really are leading the show in a way, just as much as Norman Reedus' character and Daryl is. But I hope they don't get like, once the Whispers are done, the Horde is defeated, Beta is killed inevitably, I'm assuming, in this finale. I really hope that they do something with her character, because it would be like, that was the only thing that anyone got out of that Whisper arc, that Lydia joined the communities and became a viable, thriving member, and that she truly did reject the Whisperer ways that were so archaic and just inhumane, to use a light word. But yeah, it would be a mistake to not have her in it, and I think that Angela Kang should give her a chance and put her in, and unless she dies, I don't see any reason for her not to be in the plot. Again, they can't handle the TV show like they can the comics, because for the comics, Kirkman, he's the freaking master. You know, he's got the gavel, and he's smashing it on the table. And he's saying that this character goes here, and this character goes here, and this character dies, and this character doesn't die. But in the show, Angela Kang's got a writing team, and you can't just have a character not show up. Like, if Lydia's not dead, and she's not involved in the main plot in the Commonwealth, like, that's a problem. People are going to be like, what happened to her character? Is she doing anything of any significance in the Hilltop / Alexandria? Or Hilltop's seemingly destroyed. They haven't confirmed that, but it seems like the Hilltop is destroyed, and Alexandria is the only community they really have left, because the Whisperers left there after they invaded it. But so yeah, that's my answer to your question. Hope you enjoyed it. All right. So then we have RE98, who says, my favorite character is Negan. My questions: what is your least favorite villain in The Walking Dead? If the villains of The Walking Dead had a battle royale against each other, who do you think would win? And lastly, who do you think should play Mercer in Season 11? All right. My least favorite villain. Oh, my God. Could she be considered a villain? It's gonna be, the woman that Rick finds in that first episode of season 4 that like tries to trick him. Like, it seems so weird, that sequence when Rick like they show like 30 days without an accident. They're living at the prison. Life is good, and then Rick stumbles across this woman, and she's displaying this very odd, bizarre behavior in the woods, and he ends up doing a mercy killing. It's very bizarre, and she's not really a villain. She's just kind of crazy. So I didn't like that. And then obviously the cops that were in season 5 after the Terminus arc ended abruptly. The ones who are holding Beth, if you remember her character, Maggie's sister, that whole. It was just stupid, because they split the first half of season 5. They split it into the hunters, the cannibals, the Terminus, the termite people, however we want to call them. They were in there for the first half of that half season. So it was episodes 1, 2, 3. They were there, and then they all died in the church, and then you had the cops, which lasted until the mid-season finale, and then some of the cops were still there. Like, the main woman, whose name eludes me, the main woman was killed in a stupid. I still remember that sequence. How stupid it was. I know they were trying to get that kid back, and like, Beth stabs the cop with the scissors. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. It's just such a weird sequence. Like, she like reacts, pulls, like, she stabbed the cop. The cop pulled out the gun in a reaction, and then you see her lips. I didn't mean to. And then an episode later, Rick verifies to Glenn. He's like, "Yeah, the cop did it as it was like a reflex. I know she didn't mean to do it, but Daryl blew her brains out anyway." Um, so but I didn't know what the point of all that was. Ultimately, they found the kid, the Everyone Hates Chris kid, because he had family that was up in Virginia, and that's what led the group to Virginia in the first place. Which is kind of a silly reason, because Eugene, before they found out Eugene lied about knowing the cure, Eugene was taking them to DC anyway. So they were already headed in that direction, and yet they needed this extra plot line with these stupid cops. I just wish that the Terminus people had been the villains for the whole half of the season. Maybe they're trying to go to DC and the Terminus people are on their tail, kind of poking and jabbing them until Rick finally says enough is enough, and you have the church sequence maybe. Something like that. The whole, going back to Atlanta and having those weird ass cops that were holed up in Grady Memorial Hospital, it just seems so bizarre. I just didn't understand what the whole point of it was. So that's my least favorite villain. I actually, to answer your second question about the battle royale with the groups in The Walking Dead, I've kind of done vlogs on this. So last summer, I had a what if. It was called my what if series. So I did the one that I'm most intrigued about, which was my favorite to do, was the Saviors versus the Whisperers. So the Saviors at the height of Negan's power, where Negan had Simon and Gavin and those guys on the motorcycles and just all of his manpower with all the outposts at the height of his strength. Basically, we're talking season 6 Negan. Before Rick or Daryl or anyone crosses Negan's path. That group of saviors versus Alpha and Beta and basically the Horde. All of the Whisperers and the Horde. Who would win in that battle? And I had a vlog where I go into it. And there were other groups that I also discussed. So if you want, I can do other ideas based off of that. I kind of exhausted most that I could think about. I'll go back and search in the video log history and see if there's something that I missed or overturned. So, and then to answer your last question, who do you want to see play Mercer in season 11? All right, now I'm only gonna say this. I'm only gonna say this because I've been binge watching the series lately. And I'm going to search the character because I forget his... Idris Elba. I would like him to play Mercer. Only because I've been binge watching The Wire, and Stringer Bell is one of the notorious villains of that series. And the actor, he's also in The Office. I don't know if you guys are fan. I mean, it seems like everyone, especially girls, are like, "Oh, I love The Office." Everyone loves The Office. And seasons 4 or 5, the actor he plays an office manager who comes to reprimand Michael. Yeah, so I think he'd be a good Mercer. Now, he doesn't necessarily have the build of Mercer, because Mercer has kind of a larger build to him. Now there is one other act. You know what? I can't believe I didn't recognize this actor. I didn't recognize that Tyrese was in The Wire as this guy Cuddy Wise, who has the boxing ring. I didn't realize that, So because I was originally gonna say someone who looks I was gonna say that Chad Coleman could be Mercer, but obviously he already played Tyrese, so that's not possible. So I guess we can go with Elba. I know that there's maybe an actor who's got a larger build, like a bodybuilder. Like it's unclear how large Mercer is, but definitely he's you know a soldier, black fellow, has that super armor that the Commonwealth has. Staunch opinions, everything from the comics that we know. Again, I'm not sure how they'll go about casting, and I don't know if Elba is kind of a out there casting choice, because I know he's a very popular actor. He does a lot of social activism. He's very just his time is occupied. So I don't know if he would necessarily, like, if Scott Gimple was like, "Hey, you want to be on The Walking Dead?" He'd be like, "Oh, a zombie show. That's interesting." But you know what? It's funny because so much of his cast, so much of his cast. Let me see. I forget his name. We'll go to Father Gabriel. Is played by Seth Gilliam. So Seth Gilliam, Chad Coleman, and then what the hell is his name? And then we'll go Bob Stuckey, who was also Bob, the one who gets his leg cut off. Played by Lawrence Gilliard Jr. Yeah, and so he was D'Angelo on The Wire. I'm saying this as if you guys know what The Wire is. So you got Lawrence Gilliard, you got Chad Coleman, Seth Gilliam, and then what was the other one I just said? There was a fourth one, but you get the point. Basically a lot of actors from The Wire went on to play a character in The Walking Dead. So I don't know. I mean, they haven't continued this tradition literally since season 5 when Father Gabriel was cast. So the actors that came after that were not from there. So we'll see. I don't know if Elba, I mean, that would be really cool to have that level kind of. And the thing is, he kind of has this, he can have a threatening demeanor, but he also kind of has this just very calm and flowing kind of voice, and I think that it would lend itself well to the type of character they want Mercer to be, unless they want Mercer to have an edge to his voice. But that depends. That just depends on the preference. So, all right, guys. Those are the questions I got. I got those two, but I mean that lasted me pretty much the whole time because I wanted to go into detail. Also, RE98 asked 3 questions, so I wanted to go into that. So thank you guys again. I'm sorry that this is probably the longest stretch that I haven't had a vlog on my channel. It's been almost a month, and I apologize for that. I want to make it up to you guys by doing something a little different. I'm actually going to be, I could stream on Twitch, but I've been playing the Ezio collection on PlayStation 4 was on sale, and so I bought it, and I've been going through it in my spare time, and I wouldn't do a playthrough. I don't do playthroughs on my channel anymore. I just don't think there's interest, and I don't have the time to do them. But I would not be opposed to playing, just like messing around, kind of just live let's play on the fly commentary, basically almost hearkening back. And oh my gosh, how many years has it been since I've done a vlog like that? I don't know. I feel like this has there's an interesting prospect to this idea. And so I kind of wanted to throw the idea out to you guys, but I'm already leaning towards doing it. And so I don't know if people who have been dormant on my channel, if they were fans of video games, they noticed that I didn't post video game content. It was only The Walking Dead, then they left. This is kind of like almost like a resurgence. Not necessarily. I'm just doing it because of the unique situation of COVID. So many people are inside. And I have a little more free time to do this kind of stuff, so I figured that I could lend my voice and my comedy, because I was just kind of chatting like just to myself. I was like making jokes, Ezio, and Italian. Like my family personally has a lot of Italian ancestry, so I was just kind of cracking jokes and just talking about Ezio and his adventures. So yeah. I've already played the game and beat it, like, back when it came out. So, I mean, it's not like I would be doing this for a story playthrough. It would just be to have some gameplay and screw around and upload some content because I am bereaved of it. And I would appreciate that if I telling that to myself could kick it into high gear, so to speak. So, all right. Thank you guys for watching. Again, sorry for the massive delay in content. We're gonna get. I've seen, the thing is, there's no information. I Google a few times in a week what's going on with the finale, and I see nothing. I'm following Trev's Chan 2, which is a Walking Dead YouTuber I like to follow. There's rumors it's going to be in July. Some people think it's just going to be in the fall because they have no Walking Dead content because they haven't been able to film anything because filming is shut down, and it's just a big fucking disaster. So anyway, I don't know how this is going to go down, but let's just be pleasantly surprised, because I know one day I'm going to look in my feed on Twitter or somewhere and see that the season 10 finale has a scheduled date, and I will be doing a reaction and a review, I promise, once those finally freaking come out. But until then, I will see you guys later, and I guess the next vlog I'll upload is something for Assassin's Creed, where I'm just kind of chilling and having just gameplay. It doesn't have to be numbered. It's not part of a playthrough. It's just gameplay, and I think it'll be fun for all of us to jump on. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Peace out. See you later.